started in 1776. Right? It all started in 1776. But we're going to skip up to the 1800s because that is where it got critical, right? We know in 1871, well, hopefully we know. If not, go do y'all research. In 1871, there was a clause set for the Ku Klux Klan to ban them from having political influence or anyone who supported the Confederacy, because we know who created the Confederate flag in the Ku Klux Klan? The Democrats. So if you don't know, demo means demon. Crack comes from the word krasi, which means rulership. Democratic literally means demonic rulership. These people are Satanists. They want to take the word God out of everything. And even though we don't see and believe in God the same way, we can agree that there is a higher frequency of righteousness that you must submit to. So anybody that's trying to substitute that frequency out, we have to look at you a little sideways. Why would you not? Why do you not believe that there is some, what kind of righteous person would try to be void of the subscription that there is something that has your best intention in hand and that is greater than you and that will support you if you do right? Who wouldn't want to subscribe to that belief? So why do you want to, exit that out of the vehicle of our minds? You must be a Satanist. And so that being said, in 1871, this clause was put in place to where the Ku Klux Klan or supporters of the Confederacy could not politically influence this country. Then a magical thing happened that following year, 1872, where this clause was, voided, removed. It was moved out of the way, and the Ku Klux Klan, aka the Democratic Party, was once again given the power to influence the government. And since 1872 all the way to now, the Democratic Party has been causing hell on this country, within this country. They have been utilizing the Ku Klux Klan, other terroristic groups, as well as other terroristic black groups. And I'm here to say that because white people can't say it because y'all get mad at them, so I'm going to say it. They have been utilizing terroristic black groups too, such as the Nation of Islam, Louis Farrakhan, okay, to cause chaos and hell in this country. And they have been eliminating anybody who makes sense. Malcolm X was not a racist. He said, quote, out of his mouth, "I'm for my people and the betterment of my people, but I'm willing to work with anybody that's righteous." And they killed him for that. But Louis Farrakhan protected Elijah Muhammad, who was a pedophile and got a 16-year-old pregnant 3 times. I'm going to say allegedly, but it's the truth. And they let him rock. And so the Democratic Party's agenda is to cause chaos, because that is what Satanists believe. They believe from chaos comes order. And the chaos must be started in your mind. And they want to start chaos in the mind of everybody so that they can slide in this new world order. And the new world order is AI. The all-seeing eye is artificial intelligence. The only thing on this planet that can watch everybody and everything at one time is a robot. And so we have to be aware of what they want to do. These people, when they give us technology, they already 200, 300 years ahead. Okay? And so with that being said, they are dumbing us down, they are poisoning us, and they are attacking us. That's right, this is not just about, oh, we don't like a law. No, this is about, you are literally using scientists to commit warfare on humans. How do I know? Because I'm a genius. So, with that being said, before I continue, I'm going to give my credentials, because I know people love to feel like, well, who is he on? He has the right. Okay, I am a genius. I am a polymath. A polymath, if you don't know, is someone who has an elite level of intellect in multiple subject matters of academia and top 1%. So a monomath is like an elite level intellect in one subject. A polymath is an elite level intellect in multiple. So with that being said, I am very well versed in science, genetics, biology, or whatever you really want to do. And I started my own debate league. I put $50,000 on myself versus anybody. I just ask you go get the best, and I get it in with you. And when it comes to the Democratic Party, we have to realize why Big Pharma is so important. It's about money, but it's not about money. Everything is about your consciousness, right? So let's go back to Satanism. I'm gonna tell y'all why this is important, and Luciferianism, because they two different things, but they're the same thing. And I want to educate you all on what we're dealing with. Because one thing about the swamp is we know there's crocodiles in here, and if you don't know where the crocodile is at, and you step on one, it's gonna rip your leg off. So I'm gonna show y'all where the crocodiles is at. Satanists, right? They are anti-nature. Whatever we believe God is, I subscribe to God as the highest octave of consciousness. the highest extent of your mind, the highest level of awareness that you can obtain, which is oneness. That's my subscription of God. Whatever yours is, as long as it don't involve pedophilia and human trafficking, he can come on over here kind of too sometime. And so with that being said, when it comes to the Democratic Party, right, they are anti-nature in their spiritual beliefs and subscriptions. So they believe that they can do God better than God. And they're using technology to subvert nature. So anything that you do naturally or anything that is a naturally occurring system, they are trying to revamp that with technology. So they're trying to substitute your cells with nanoparticles. They want to substitute your mind with virtual reality and artificial intelligence. And what's happening is we're accepting it because we're lazy. Because we don't want to do nothing. Because you don't value the developmental process. You become so addicted to an immediate experience that why would I garden when I can just go to the store and grab it off the shelf? And now by disconnecting from the actual process of development, we disconnect from ourselves. And we to the point where you can order some food off Uber Eats and it doesn't even cross your mind, damn, I wonder if the Uber driver ate today. I wonder if the Uber driver is hungry. Because you don't care. You can just have what you want when you want it. So what's happening is you're turning us into children. And so I'm going to break this down scientifically because we need to fight these people with facts that are undeniable, that are universal. One thing I know about these people, they have mastered the ability to lie through micro-expressions. And so the way that we see behind the veil is we snatch the veil. I'm not peeking behind it, I'm yapping it down. And so with that being said, let's talk about how scientists, right, have been being used to underdevelop the people in this country so that we didn't see this coming. We know that the Democratic Party loves the people they say they don't love. Yes. If they condemn it, they probably just got done having dinner with those people. And so we know about Operation Paperclip when they brought them weird, sick German scientists over here, okay? But what we don't know about is what these people believed. These people were occultic practitioners who subscribed to the teachings of Madame Blavatsky. Madame Blavatsky is connected to Aleister Crowley, who Aleister Crowley was so evil his own mama said he was the devil. Okay? Aleister Crowley was involved in over 150 child sacrificing rituals, and Aleister Crowley's blueprint is the blueprint still used today by weirdos, Satanists, and people like that. And so why is this important? Aleister Crowley was very into hypnosis. This is where the Church of Scientology got their Dianetics techniques from. They got them from Aleister Crowley. Now we want to talk about what is hypnosis. Hypnosis is when somebody can infiltrate the hippocampus aspect of your brain and insert memories or experiences in there that are not naturally there. So imagine if I hypnotized y'all all right now and I said, everybody do jumping jacks, boom. And y'all started doing jumping jacks and then I never told you to stop. That is basically what the Democratic Party has done. And even when we're dealing with pharmacy or pharmaceutical, the word pharmaceutical etymologically literally means house of ritual. And the word pharmacy is a place that you go to intake spells or potions. So even rite aid, ritual aid, they're aiding us in ritual. So what these people have been doing is they have been infusing ancient occult belief systems and magics with modern day science. That's a fact. And I'll debate anybody on that. And you will lose $50,000. And so with that being said, what they have been doing is they have been drugging people, literally. And they got us thinking that drugs is just crack and heroin. No, drugs is what's at Rite Aid. And what these drugs are doing is they're lowering the megahertz frequency of your brain. You have 4 octaves of thought. You have the highest, which is gamma, delta. This is the level of brainwave state where you actually dream. So if you're daydreaming and you breathing well and your heart is balanced out, you in the most peaceful state that your brain can exist in on a level of frequency. Then after delta, when we go to the bottom, we have underneath delta we have theta. Theta is like I'm happy, I'm just walking up the street, but I'm alert. And then you have alpha, then you have beta. Alpha is like, oh my goodness, I see the police, I'm kind of nervous, I hope they don't say something to me. And beta is like, oh my God, they told me to put my hands up. So now that you understand the different levels of the brain, right, we have to understand which ones we live in. These people are manufacturing environments through social engineers, okay? These people are rich. So what do I mean by that? They're rich enough to go get the world's best mathematicians, best scientists, best think tanks, put them all in a room, and then tell them to bring their evil ideas to life. And if you don't think that that's true, I'm willing to say that I make more money than most people out here, and I can do that if I wanted to. So I'm telling you right now, as a public entity, that's what these people are doing. Do not let them lie to you. They're using geniuses for evil. Facts. And they're teaching us not to value knowledge, not because it's corny and you're a nerd, but because you'll actually understand what biological and chemical warfare is. You'll actually understand the effects of social engineering and psychological engineering. So that is what you are up against. You are up against geniuses, but luckily you have them. Now, keeping it pushing down this lane. So what these people are doing, right? Environment by definition is the circumstances which influence you as a living organism. These people are purposely creating hostile and bare minimal living condition based circumstances to influence our organisms to constantly be in the alpha beta brainwave state, which is stress and fear. And so this is important because this undermines the development of the brain. You have 3 levels of the brain, right? You have the reptilian, which is your fight or flight humanoid module of self, your constant I have to survive. Then you have mammalian, which is your emotionally stable self. Then you have the neo-mammalian, hence Neo off the Matrix. Your neo-mammalian is when you actually in your mental state and you're just thinking. Now, if I create a hostile environment for you to grow up, or for you to grow up in, or I create a stressful environment for you to grow up in, this actually underdevelops the reptilian aspect of your brain. So your sense of security never properly develops, and then you become basically trapped or locked in an internal state of fear.
Go ahead, Pharoah.
And then by default, by your foundational aspect of your brain, just like a house, if you mess the foundation up, good luck on the living room. And so when the reptilian part of your brain is underdeveloped, by default, you become emotionally unstable because the mammalian part is now underdeveloped. Now you have depression. Now you have anxiety. Now you have all of these different things that you can go to Big Pharma and get hypnotized for and get introduced into this ritual for. When really we could have just cured you by giving you a healthy environment. And so, boom, we done basically threw a monkey wrench in your reptilian aspect of your brain. We threw a monkey wrench in the mammalian. Now by default, you can't put the capstone on a pyramid. Now we throw a monkey wrench in the neo-mammalian aspect of your brain. Now you can't think. If your environment is unstable for too long of a time, your mind becomes unstable. If your mind becomes unstable, you become emotionally and internally in conflict. And if you are emotionally and internally in a state of conflict, you cannot clearly think. So the reason we have not been involved in politics the way we should have, because nobody's been in their right goddamn states of mind. Everybody's crazy. And nobody wants to ask themselves, am I really out of my goddamn mind? Am I really watching too much rap music? Am I really watching too much sports? You know, am I really watching too much booty shaking? Nobody's really questioning their level of engagement or what they consider entertainment. Entertainment, etymologically, literally means to capture and hold the mind. Entertain means to capture and hold, means your mentality. So if I start, it's basically the tactics of the Roman emperor. It's the court gesture. I'm going to entertain you right into getting executed over here. So you got to be careful at what you laugh at. You got to be careful what you find funny, because it is through comedy and through celebrities that the Democratic Party has actually divided us for. The people that we subscribe to as public figures and think that they're funny and think that, you know, we like them as rappers, those are actually the pawns on the chessboard who they've been turning into knights and rooks and castles. So, you know, one person I want to specifically address before I continue is P. Diddy. P. Diddy, we would genuinely like you to shut the fuck up. You do not speak for us. You have been corrupt since day one. And I also want to add, I don't understand why you have something bad to say about Trump when you've met the guy like 5 times, okay? And you've enjoyed him every time. So I'm not accusing you of anything, but I would like to say maybe you're a pedophile and you're afraid you're about to go to jail. And so, with that being said, I want to throw that out there. We have to basically slay these entertainers in our minds, and we have to make them realize you don't speak for us. You afraid to come out here and be with the real people. You afraid that you ain't out here walking with us today. So I want to put that out there, especially as a black person who is still deeply and always will be deeply connected to my community, but psychologically maturely developed enough to come amongst the world and connect with other communities while representing mine. And these people do not represent my community. And people like P. Diddy and the rest of these entertainers is who's causing issues and stifles in the minds of other communities. So by the time we come amongst white people, even though we're not white, They already got preconceived notions of who we are because they've been seeing a false image of us on this goddamn TV all this time. And so, you know, we got to break that up. And continuing on, getting back on draining the swamp, right? These people have basically been using science in a cult in a blender and giving it to you as a smoothie. And you've been drinking it. And that smoothie is called the American Dream. And you got to realize in order to dream, you must be asleep. And I'm not asleep. I'm woke. I'm woke. I ain't answered the door, but I heard you knock. So, with that being said, Donald Trump, right? Why is Donald Trump important to me as a black man who is coming from a totally different walk of life? If it wasn't for my mind and me living what I call the path of the hermit, which is someone who just wanders the world in search of knowledge. I value knowledge. That's what I dedicate my life to, and I like to acquire it. So, someone who walks the path of the hermit, you might say, what are you doing over here with Donald Trump and these 1776 supporters? I respect the frequency that I see in Donald Trump because it's in me. And I'm mature enough to understand we have cultural and traditional differences. That's it. But what's in our heart is the same. It's frequency. So that's right. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Good is good, evil is evil. And so my support for Donald Trump came from one of the most genuine places because I personally research everybody to the T. I try to get you down to the first cell you were before you multiplied into trillions. And I looked. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I looked up all night looking. What did he do? Let me see. Is he really like that? And I'm telling y'all this from my point of view because I don't trust white people like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. So when you get me, you made yourself a trustworthy person. Because I don't believe we should lie to each other. If you don't trust me, tell me that. So I know to perform when I'm in your presence. If I have to gain your trust, I don't mind gaining your trust. But after dealing with these Democrats all these years, hell no, I don't trust white people. Because the tactic of smiling in my face and stabbing me in the back, even though it's from a Democratic hand that's doing it, I wasn't politically aware of that at the time. To me, you were just a white person who lied to me and did me dirty. And now, the reason that that's important, I bring that up, because look at all of these beautiful white people out here who don't have no ill in their heart towards you. So, look how much chaos these people have caused in the world by doing the bullshit that they do. And then these type of people are the people that we arguing with at work, or the people that we fighting with in the world, and they don't like Joe Biden either. So, you know, we have to snatch the veils down in this country, and it comes a time where we all say, enough is enough. We're grown. We don't have to be PG-13. As long as I'm over the age of 21, I can drink. So if I'm old enough to drink, I'm old enough to think. And I can say what I want to say. I don't have to ride the trend. I don't have to ride the wave and be asleep. And when it came to Donald Trump, I did extensive research on this man. I looked to see if he did anything wrong. I came up on some of the bug crap that other people came up on. But I fact check myself. I debate myself when I come across information to see if it could be wrong. And outside of people's opinions or the way he look or personality things that are not actually criminal injustices, I have not found nothing wrong that man has done. So me following in the footsteps of Malcolm X, and Malcolm X saying that he's willing to work with anybody that's righteous, that's what's in my heart. That's my philosophy. And that is why I support Donald Trump, because I see he is a good man. And coming towards the end of this verbiage, the Democratic Party is a terroristic party. They have been employing money laundering or criminally colluding with foreign entities. And this is what makes them so sick in my mind, because, you know, at least if you gonna do us dirty, do it in-house. You know what I'm saying? Why you couldn't find somebody over here to do us dirty with? Damn, you messing with China? We don't even like China. What are you talking about? Not all of them, but I don't like the Communist Chinese Party. If you do, that's on you. I don't. So when it comes to the Democratic Party, right, I have to bring up something that's very important. Jeffrey Epstein. Yes. Now, I'm going to tell y'all why Jeffrey Epstein is important, and Ghislaine Maxwell, who we haven't heard anything about so far. And I want to know what's going on with that. The last thing I heard was her facility caught on fire and they had to move some inmates. But what's the update? Where's she at? Where's she at? Some of y'all want to see prosecutions. I want to see executions, but I'll settle for a prosecution. I'll settle for that. But it's not what I want to see. Put the E on the front of the cution. Now, when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, I'm going to tell y'all why he's really important. I did an entire PowerPoint presentation on this on my website, youngpharaoh.net. It's called Jeffrey Epstein, Israeli Mossad 30-Year Spy. Jeffrey Epstein was, in fact, an Israeli Mossad spy for over 30 years. If you did not know that, surprise. Now, who is Ghislaine Maxwell really to Jeffrey Epstein? Ghislaine Maxwell was not his spouse. She was his handler. She became his handler after the death of her father, who also was a spy, who was Robert Maxwell. Now, Robert Maxwell, you may or may not know, because I have a lecture I'm creating right now where I'm totally just about to academically challenge public schooling. And one of my challenges is the curriculum. That's right. That's right. The public doom system. Now, Robert Maxwell not only was an Israeli Mossad agent, he actually was the publisher of our curriculum in this country for years. How many of you are aware with McGraw-Hill? That's Robert Maxwell. So now we arguing with these type of white people about why y'all don't teach black history in school. And they like, well, shit, we don't know. We don't control it. But we don't know that they don't control it. So I'm just here to lay it out on the table. The Israeli Mossad has been in control of our public education since that McGraw-Hill. And then what they did was they took it out of play and they put another one in play, but the one that they put in place still has the curriculums adopted from the McGraw-Hill. So still right now at this very second, our children are being educated by Israel. Let's be clear on that. And the Democratic Party opened that door. And so when I say these people are terrorists, they're terrorists. I'm not playing with you. And I know how to fight. So what's happening? And with that being said, these people are terrorists and the swamp must be drained. We hope that it can be done through the proper chain of command. Donald Trump, the federal government, etc. But what I want y'all to know is if these people steal this election, you can bend over. I'm not bending over. So I don't have to become a terrorist, but you do not fuck with me. I will not be taking no vaccines or none of that shit. So whatever y'all want to do in this country, do that shit over there. Do not come to my house with that bullshit. And so I want to say that because I see what you assholes are doing, and I'm not a pussy. I'm going to call you out on it. So the Democratic Party has not only allowed Israel to invade this country, they have allowed communist China. Now we have to blow them out of the water. We talked about ritual aid, Rite Aid, pharmacy, pharmaceutical drugs, hypnosis, hippocampus part of the brain, occult, Satanism. Democrat literally means demonic rulership. So they can't say they're not Satanists when your fucking name means demonic ruler. I mean, there's really no escaping that. Now with that being said, where does China fit in? Well, 90% of our pharmaceutical drugs and medical supplies come from China. If this is the greatest country on earth, how is the majority of our scientists in these academic institutions foreigners? Go research the H-1B1 visa, okay? And everybody knows when you see a Chinese student, what do you assume? This is the smartest person in the college. Well, if this is America, why are you the poster boy? Okay? Why are Jews the smartest people in the courtroom? Why is most of our medical supplies coming from China? Why is Israel educating the American public? Why has the Democratic Party allowed so many outside nations and influences on us? And I want y'all to realize they are selling this goddamn country out. It's not a joke. That's right. It's not a joke. And the reason we don't see it coming is not only because they're dumbing us down and they're underdeveloping our brains, they are poisoning us. They're poisoning us through the food. They're poisoning us through the water. They're poisoning us through the medical system. And they are allowing China and Israel to aid them in our own destruction.
And they're taking that money back to their homes.
That's right. That's right.
They're not fucking with over here.
That's right. And not only are they taking that money back, they are doing all of this stuff, right? Because we need a motive, okay? Now, I've been to court plenty of times. I know what a motive is, okay? We need a motive. But we don't need a made-up motive, because if I was a prosecutor, I wouldn't be like Kamala Harris to make shit up to convict them. I would convict you of what you really did. So right now, I'm prosecuting the deep state. What is my motive, right? Because what they'll try to say is, well, all of this sounds good, and that's conspiracy theory, but why would we do that? You do that because that is your spiritual belief, and that is what you subscribe to. These people subscribe to a negative entity that they believe feeds them intellect and feeds them power for the exchange of fear and tyranny. And what they are doing is they are putting the world in a fearful state, in a tyrannical state, in exchange for power from the spiritual being that they subscribe to via technology, etc. So what we are dealing with in this, or on this level of political exchange, is we are not just dealing with asshole people who don't have our best interest at hand. You are dealing with people who believe in the devil. That's what you're dealing with. So when we say evil, you're dealing with people who have, like the Podestas. You have pedophile artwork in your house, pedophile artwork in your home. Who with a logical, rational mind could even see that? If I walked in your house and seen that, I would be like, yo, bro, what type of shit is you doing in here? That's not even good for my heart. That's stressing me out just seeing that. These people bathe in that type of shit. So you're dealing with, it's like Hannibal Lecter trying to get into the White House. There's no rationalizing with Hannibal Lecter. We must acknowledge you and deal with you as Hannibal Lecter. And this is where human trafficking comes in, which is another reason why Donald Trump has my personal support, because he is the only president who has not only came in and tackled it, he's did a hell of a job, period. He did a hell of a job. These people are using people like Bill Gates, who lied about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, even though we know they set that charity up to benefit them. Bill Gates, right? We don't like Bill Gates because he's Freddy Krueger of vaccines. But I'm going to tell y'all why Bill Gates is so important, and rounding this back up to Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Gates has access to what? Children. Yes! But not just children. Children that nobody cares about. We don't even care about the homeless that we just seen. We don't even ask them, what's your name? Who were you before you were homeless? Did you need we don't do that. So do you, exactly. So do you think we doing that to children in third world countries? So it's yes sir, got you, thank you. There is a system set in place, right? And it's these people form of currency. And their currency is blood, pain, and suffering. So my number one support for Donald Trump that I have, my number one supportive issue for Donald Trump that I have, outside of everything that I just said, is saving the children. Straight up. As adults, we can argue with each other, we can fight with each other, we can do all of that, that's fine. But children are off limits. That should just be a rule. It should just be a rule. It's just like if you a mobster or you a gangbanger, you know no women and kids. That's just the rule. Even people who live in the underworld have that rule. So if somebody who commits crimes on a daily basis has enough morality to say no women and children, how immoral do you got to be to say women and children, specifically children and infants? So I have no tolerance for these people. I won't be watching my mouth. I'm going to blow it all up, and we're going to blow it all up. And we want these people in jail. Yes, and we want these people in Guantanamo. I prefer execution, but I'll settle for Guantanamo Bay. And my thing is, we don't do pedophilia. We don't do human sacrifice. Pizzagate is real. Common Ping Pong does have a basement. And, we got to stay on their heads. And bringing this to an end, I want to let everybody know I appreciate each and every one of you coming out. And that's right. And I want to let everybody who came out on my behalf know I'm with you all psychologically in synchronicity. And I want to let everyone who came on behalf of 1776 that outside of traditional and cultural differences, which we can treat it just like business. When you go to work, you don't ask your coworker what they believe. It's just, hey, you got an order in the front. So I feel like we can put our traditional and cultural values and keep them in our house and just come out and deal with each other like countrymen. And as long as we can do that, it shouldn't be a problem. We're all adults. We know how to say, excuse me, thank you, ma'am. It's not that hard. So I want to thank everybody for coming out today. And I want to end on this. If you are not fearless, if you are not vigilant, if you are not 90% righteous, 10% combative, you will not be strong enough to drain this swamp. These people are about that life. Hillary Clinton is about that life. You're not just going to run up on her like that. Research the Clinton blood trail, okay? So I'm ending on this. We must develop a vigorous spirit. We are not children. This is not kindergarten. I'm not saying we got to become terrorists, but we must let these people know this is the law. This is the line we drew, and we not moving from that line. So do not cross that line. And I want to let y'all know, even though we from different communities, I see that y'all drew the line, and I'm stepping on this motherfucker with you. And we going to hold the line. And with that being said, I love y'all. Peace.